All right, and we are back again. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm good. Got week three of fantasy going, or not fantasy, week three of preseason going right now. Halftime for the Chiefs and Seahawks 6-3. Excuse me, Chiefs. Melrose playing the whole game. Milrose playing the whole game. We'll
Finally looks
see
good.
how he looks. It's a field goal game right now, obviously 6-3. We'll see. What are your thoughts? Do you think? I mean, Milrose playing the whole game. Locke has looked. I mean, he has controlled the offense flawlessly,
Yes.
and but when he gets taken out, and even if Milrow is playing with the same guys, the offense drops off. So I'm really excited because we're not going to see it until week one. What the ones look like for Seattle. But if the twos and some of the threes looking this good with Locke running it, I'm excited what Brian Fleury is going to be doing. I like how he's called. I know I made a trade in Dynasty this week. You did not like it. I didn't probably. I paid too much for Elijah Arroyo, but I don't care. I see what Brian Fleury is doing. He's moving the offense. He's setting up the tight end on some screen passes, some mid distance plays. And so I'm really excited to see what Arroyo can do because I think him and AJ Barner are going to have a great season. I'm really deep at wide receiver in that league, and that's why I gave Antonio Williams being tight end premium. Oscar thought, you know what, I should get more for Elijah, and it really our tight end premium is basically not even tight end premium. It's
Correct.
minimal at best,
Correct.
unless you have a premium receiver tight end like Bowers or McBride or one of those.
Or Loveland.
But I'm so deep, and I've got a lot of young receivers
Hey
that I was able
yo.
to. Better to say deep
Yes.
receivers than deep tight ends. So I figured, you know what, I'm going to pick up a young guy and see if I can get someone that before they turn big. And so, what are your thoughts on some of that I just said?
Yeah, I mean I like it.
I don't
First
know.
things first, what's up, Dilly Dilly? Dilly's in the chat. Um, so he said
Wait a
what's
minute.
up to us.
Our Dilly Dilly?
Yes, our Dilly
Who's
Dilly.
that?
Dylan, you
How
you
you
want to join or
doing?
what? If you want to join, let us know. But with the topic, before I answer his question, our topic today is week one matchups, and the top, we're both picking two guys from the quarterback position, running back position, wide receiver position, tight end position, and defenses that we think are going to be performing well for week one. If you would like to join and you want to put your input on any of that, you don't even have to do all of it. You can do one or the other. You can do one thing. You can do eight things, whatever you want to do. If you want to join, we're on the Discord call that I can definitely add you into. So let us know. But what's that, Dilly Dilly? Thank you for popping in. But
Yeah, Dilly. Is Kyle on?
Kyle's not on. Not
Ah,
yet. Not
come on,
yet.
Kyle.
uh, but I think the Elijah Arroyo move is was good. Like I told you, obviously being Seahawks fans, we knew with this addition to our offensive coordinator because we lost Clint Kubiak. With our addition of the new offensive coordinator, he was a tight end coach over at Elo about to
Okay.
go line dancing. Ah, he's about to go. Oh shoot, you got boots or what?
Oh, you know,
um,
Kathy, we appreciate her getting you out of your normal little comfort zone, and you go have a good time. I will see you tomorrow at lunchtime, and I look forward to hearing about your line dancing.
hey Dylan, I got something
All
for
right,
you. I got
the
something
boot,
for you.
boot, scoot, and boogie.
But yes, tell her we said what's up. But I do hope you
Have
guys
fun,
have
dude.
fun. Yes, I do hope you guys have fun. But yeah, so the like we talked about, I just think it's going to be a lot of 12 personnel, to be honest. So in Seattle, there's going to be so much 12 personnel. I think it's going to be Cooper Cup and JSN in a 12 personnel package, and then Rashid Shaheed's going to be good. I'm glad. And then I think that Rashid Shaheed is going to get in on third downs always, and then I think that he's also going to be mixing in with Cooper Cup as a during the 12 personnel. But Cooper Cup is just one of the like he's statistically one of the best wide receivers at blocking, and he just doesn't care. Like he does all that dirty work, and you can't really take JSN off the field. So it's I just think it's going to be Cup and JSN a lot of the time during the 12 personnel packages. But Arroyo's going to be on the field a lot. AJ Burner's going to be on the field a lot. I know you mentioned it a couple weeks ago, but I mean, Mike McDonald thought that Elijah Arroyo was a first round talent player in the draft last year, and he just had an injury right at the end of college, which dropped him to the third round where we drafted him, or second. No, third.
Late second.
Yeah, okay. So second round where we drafted him, and we're not going to spend that draft capital and say all that stuff to not mean it. So I think it's going to be, I think I think it could work out for you. And Antonio Williams is never going to be a starter on your team. Your wide receiver
No.
5, I think, is Lad McConkey. So it never would have happened. But yeah, no, I
Yeah.
like it for you. I think it was a good show. I think it was a good trade. I mean,
Now, keep in mind, with Horton, we still don't know, and we'll keep this kind of short with the Seahawk talks. I think every week we open up with it. But Horton still hasn't been said what his injury is, but McDonald did say it's not long term.
correct.
And then Bobo. Unfortunately, he's out for the year. Have you watched Hard Knocks yet this week, season or episode 4?
I've actually only watched episode 1. I was gonna wait to
Oh,
watch
really?
them all. Yeah, I've just been so busy.
Okay, then I won't talk about it then. Good episode. Great
Perfect.
episode.
Yeah, I haven't even seen
But I
the one
won't
where they
say-
talk about Wimby, with the Spurs coach.
Okay, then yeah, I won't talk about that then. So with those two guys dealing with injuries or out for the season, and you just said 12 personnel, we're going to see a lot of it. I really think we are going to see a lot of that, even more so now, due to the fact we're not very deep at wide receiver right now. Montori Foster Jr. I believe he is going to get a real opportunity this year. If you remember, we brought Bobo back after Jacksonville signed him to that offer sheet. We matched it. We had right of first refusal, and so we matched that. And so he was kind of bubble area anyways, but you've got Shaheed, you've got Cup, you've got JSN. So there's 3 guys. And then with Horton, when he actually is playing, there's 4 guys. So Bobo, Montori Foster, he is going to get an opportunity this year, and so it's going to be exciting.
Agreed. Definitely.
So, like you said, this week we're going to do matchups. You want to start, or do you want me to start, or is there something you want to discuss before we get on into the quarterbacks?
Yeah, I want to discuss something real quick. Dilly just called me
Sure.
out for being a fake fan because I haven't watched that episode. I've been so busy. But I got Seattle up on the wall. Seattle, and
It's
Seattle.
all fuzzed out or blurred out, so we can't really see it all. But
Correct.
yeah,
So I could be lying. Nah, but yeah, no. So I just been super busy. I want to watch them. I've heard they're good. That will be next up on my agenda probably tomorrow night. Actually, I have a $100 buy-in league tomorrow night, and I'm picking from the 2 spot. So
what are you going to do? You going to go running back?
I'm gonna
What's
go
the
Bijan.
point? What's the scoring?
Just normal PPR, and
Okay.
then nothing
Full
else,
PPR?
nothing special. Yeah, full PPR.
Okay.
I'm drafting from the 2 spot, $100 buy-in, 10-team league, and
Starting two wide receivers or 3?
1 quarterback, 2 wide receivers, 2 running backs, 1 tight end, 2 flexes, and a defense.
Okay, so pretty basic setup. So
Very.
yeah, definitely you want that stud running back. I know Sean has mentioned he does not think, and Sean in our family league, he doesn't think that Bijan is going to do great this season. I am not worried about him at all. Worried more about Pitts or London. I think every game it could switch back and forth between them, but I do not think they can. I don't think either quarterback can really support a 2 wide receiver or 1 wide receiver and 1 tight end. But definitely Bijan will get going, and Stefanski will use him well.
I
So, uh,
100% agree. And I mean, yeah, he's the team's going to be ass. Tua's not going to be good.
correct.
But if you look at that playoff schedule, Washington week 1 of the playoffs, Tampa week 2, the Saints week 3. Just a just a cushion of a schedule in the playoffs. So I'm 100% going Bijan.
Nice, nice.
Obviously,
Unless
assuming
Bijan goes
Gibbs,
one.
yeah, exactly.
Either way, you're getting a stud. Now,
I will be going one of the
do you plan on going running back? Because at 2, you get a quick third pick. You have to wait a while for your second. And yes, it really matters. It depends on who falls. But do you have a plan of considering going RB wide receiver, or because in a 10 team and being the 2 pick, a lot of talent's going to fall there. You got a chance of AJ falling there.
Correct. What I want is I want Bijan, and then Malik Neighbors and Chris Olave, and then DeAndre Swift on that 4 or 5 turn, and then let the rest play out.
Olave may fall to your 4-5. I got him. Okay, we're in a 12 team.
It's an online draft.
Oh,
ADP is going to be.
I hate that. Which league?
Sleeper.
Sleeper.
Sleeper. Oh wait, no. Actually, I think they're switching it this year. I think we're doing ESPN because ESPN.
Okay, if it's ESPN, I don't know if you've been following. A lot of their ADPs are off right now.
Oh, huge. Good.
Yeah, so you may get, if you can jump on and do a mock tonight on ESPN, I would try to do it, or tomorrow morning before your game or after your game.
Sounds good to me. But yeah, so cool. I got that tomorrow.
Well, good luck.
Thank you. So yeah, it brings and then it brings us into the first thing. Do you want to start with quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, or tight ends? Quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Perfect. Go ahead, take it away.
So, first 2 to 3 weeks, ever since they've gone to 3 preseason games, and really even before that, the defenses are a little ahead of the game. Offenses are a little cold, whatever you want to call it. They're not as sharp this early due to the fact that they're not getting many reps. Like Seattle's offense has not played a single down, single possession, anything in preseason. Don't know really what to expect in week 1. I'm excited about it, but so I am going to go with, I've got a few defenses that I think are going to be bad that I've got quarterbacks for. My first one, it's kind of a gimme, but I'm excited to see Mike McDaniels and what he can do with Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert connecting for that, I think it was a 60-plus yard TD
to QJ.
With QJ. And I think Herbert is going to have an unreal game week 1. And so the Cardinals just look bad. But their defense, like I said, is going to have a little bit of a head start in the first couple games, but they're playing Herbert. They're playing Herbert's healthy. The O-line's not that healthy. But I really think Justin Herbert week 1 is probably a top 5 QB. And which does some things later in the conversation also. But Mike McDaniels with a quarterback that actually can throw it deep, and then is accurate also. He is just going to go out and have a blast coaching that team, calling those plays, and Justin Herbert's really going to have, for the first time, a great offensive play caller.
Agreed. That was my first one as well. So completely agreed. Completely agreed. Do you feel as if? Well, let me ask you this: on that team, okay. Oronde Gadsden is the number 1 tight end on all drafts. He's like tight end 17 or whatever. He is the number 3 tight end on the roster. Do you believe that, or do you feel as if he is getting just overlooked right now? Like, do you feel like he's going to end up as tight end 3 and Charlie Coker and um,
And
David
Joku.
Njoku are going to be 1 and 2, and then Gadsden 3, or do you feel as if Gadsden will, by the end of the year, step into that 1 or 2 role at the tight end spot?
So is as athletic as he is, I would like to think. But you look back to week 2 preseason, okay?
Yep.
He played deep into the game. And Joku, I do not believe played, and I don't know if he's dealing with an injury. Coker, is it Coker?
Charlie, yeah, something like that. Charlie Kohler,
Uh, what is it?
Kolar, I think. Kohler.
Yeah, Kohler, whatever his last name is. He is everything I'm reading shows that he's very athletic, and he has led with receptions in camp. Gadsden does not seem to be getting the positive conversations, but I don't know what that's going to do. Mike McDaniel is, I know he's kind of out there due to the fact that he talks so much and you don't know if you can take him serious.
Yes.
You ask him how his day is, and he goes, "My day is, I'm a day closer to dying." I mean, what kind of day? What kind of answer is that? But it's to answer your question. I really think Gadsden is the 1 or the 3. He's not the 2.
Yes.
And on the depth chart it shows 3, and he's playing a lot, and he's not playing with Herbert. So I really do not know. It's a tough question. He's not one of my top 5 tight ends when we get to that conversation. I'll tell
Absolutely not. I'll not be touching a single tight end in that backfield.
And and they're playing the Cards. Cards has been pretty bad against tight ends, but I still would not play him.
Agreed.
What do you think is going to happen with Gadsden?
I think Njoku's the 1. Charlie Kohler is the blocking tight end, and Gadsden's the 3. But Gadsden is the most athletic. I just clearly something's not going right there. None of the reports have been positive at all.
But and you look at their wide receivers. They even so a tight end in that offense. I don't know if you can count on more than 3 to 5 targets. It's probably 3 or 4 targets a game. And so to me, it really doesn't matter what the tight end is. And that's where that Charlie one, with being a great blocker, and Joku likes to do the dirty stuff too. He's a blocker. And if that's where Gadsden is falling short, is in blocking, because he's going to be a run-first team, and we'll get to that later also. But if that's what is keeping Gadsden from being a 1 or a 2, it makes sense.
Agreed.
Because the other 2 guys are great at blocking.
And last question on that topic. Their right tackle just got hurt, right? Their right tackle's hurt again?
That's Slater, right?
I think so.
I don't think he has actually fully returned from last year.
Oh.
Alt is playing well. It's their center who who's out for the year.
Wait, so they lost? Did the Ravens lose their center too? Because for some reason I thought the Ravens. Okay, damn. So damn, it's not ideal. Do you know who the center is for the Ravens?
Yeah. Wait, for the Ravens? No.
Ethan Posich, the one that we drafted.
Oh, that's right. I think they. Yeah, that's right. It's funny because when he left Seattle, we're all like, he's a bust. But he was great as a center in Cleveland, and sounds like he's going to be doing well in Baltimore also.
Yeah, the only reason I know that is because he got a flag called on him for holding today, and I was like, well.
Yep. Fits right into what he used to do.
Yes. All right. So, completely agreed. I think that's a great offense to attack this in week 1. I truly do. Do you want to go with your second, or you want me to go with my first?
I'll go with
yeah, perfect. So, this one's gonna come to a surprise, and honestly, I may end up having to start him just based off of how I feel. I think a top 5 potential quarterback in week 1 could be Malik Willis. Which is crazy because they have no weapons at all. But I think that he could rush for over 100 yards against that. So, first of all, they play against the Raiders. Raiders, awful defense. Dolphins, awful defense. I feel like that game's just going to be a high-scoring game because everybody is ass. So it's either going to be really bad or really fun. But I think Malik Willis can rush for over 100 yards, which in our league we get bonus points for that. And that's already 15 points right there, not counting any of the first downs. I think he could throw for maybe one touchdown. Maybe Greg Dulcich can get in the end zone. Maybe Achan could have a receiving touchdown. But I think that he could potentially put up about 35 points with what I'm thinking that he can get. And I just feel as if I know it's a new offense. Everything about that team is new. Everything. But and I hate to say it. Well, I don't hate to say it. I just hate that it happened. But I was waiting to make a trade with somebody so that I could pick up Malik Washington. Jason went yesterday and picked up Malik Washington. I love that pickup. Is he going to do anything? Maybe not. But they have nobody else besides the Texas receiver, Cameron Douglas, not Cameron Douglas,
Caleb.
Caleb Douglas. Yes.
Yeah.
And so I feel like they don't have many options out wide, but Malik Willis is so good on the ground that there's just gonna be I feel like we're gonna see so many RPOs with that team, just consistently if you fake the handoff to Achan and you decide to take it yourself or you decide to pass it, but there's gonna be a lot of quick slants. They have a lot of dangerous receivers speed wise, but they don't have any true like alpha separators type of receivers. So I think that Malik Willis actually will be okay in this on this team. I'm gonna head out. I'll watch the rest later. I love y'all. Love you too, Dill.
Love you, Joe. Have fun.
Yes, have fun. Be safe.
Yeehaw!
Yeah. But hey, so yes, I just feel like Malik Willis is going to thrive in week 1 against a bad defense, and that's where he's really going to be able just to get the nerves out. It's good that he's starting up against a team that is not going to be ideal.
And I definitely agree with that because Miami, they don't have many opportunities for a win early. And the Raiders, we'll see. It's Kubiak's first game as being a head coach. He's not on the defensive side, so it doesn't really matter. But the game planning and all of that, is that one in Miami or
Vegas?
It's in Vegas? Okay. So it's a fast track. Yeah, Malik Willis, he'll be a fun one. And I believe I don't play DraftKings or any of that. I believe he will be very low priced on those type of platforms. So anybody that is trying to set a lineup, there's your points. There is your cheap budget. It allows you to go a little bit more expensive on someone else. And that the week 1, maybe you spend a little bit of that extra money on a top tier defense due to the fact that the offenses are going to be a little slower that first week. So you can get someone, and we'll get into the defensive talk later, but you might save some money with some of the teams that like I picked. But it'll be a fun week to watch Malik Willis and his first opportunity of leading the team as the starter again.
Agreed.
He had it in Tennessee, but didn't do much with it.
Not at all. And he looked good. He looked good in Green Bay. It's just that's Matt LaFleur, so
yeah.
There's that.
And it's in Green Bay. What do you have? 5 starts?
Yeah, something like that.
So, but he's had all camp to get the number 1 reps. He's familiar with the head coach there. So it's gonna be fun to see him get a chance, and he's going to use those legs because he's going to want to start off quick.
Agreed.
My second quarterback, I could go with a couple other guys, but I read something yesterday, and the Patriots don't want to sign Gonzalez to Witherspoon's type of money. Yes. And I read that he won't play if he doesn't have a new deal. So if he does not play, because if it was not for Gonzalez in the Super Bowl, that would have been a blowout early. He saved, I think it was 2 or 3 touchdowns just within the 5-yard line or in the end zone against JSN. And so I think if he does not play, it's a sneaky start for Sam Darnold at home. getting the flag or getting the banner, the Super Bowl banner. The crowd is going to be in it. It's going to be loud, and I believe Sam Darnold is really going to want to get off to a hot start. And the way that the Brian Fleury was calling the offense with the movement and just the calls that he had, Jadarian Price is going to be locking in some runs there, and I think he's going to get some passes. But I think Darnold could be a real sneaky QB play if Gonzalez is not playing in that game.
Agreed. 100%. Absolutely. I just feel like our tight ends, man. I'm so excited for our tight ends. I really am. I
Do you think that hurts JSN?
yes. And y'all hate, well, not you. The other people in our dynasty league hated that I traded JSN. And again, we're not talking about that league, so I'm going to keep it very light. But with no Clint, with a run-heavy offense is what I think we're going to push for. But we have no running backs, really. We just have Jadarian Price and George Halani who can catch the ball out of the back, but nothing like...
Right.
Yeah, absolutely nothing else.
There really are only 3 running backs
Yeah,
right now.
yeah. So we're like we're going to be run-heavy, but if something happens to him, if something happens to Price, Darnold's going to throw about 40 passes a game, which that part I hate. But I do feel as if JSN's going to be about that 1,300 to 1,350 range, which by no means is bad at all. He's probably going to be top 3 with that. But it's just he's not going to repeat the 1,800 he had last year, I feel like.
Agreed.
But
I think that's his ceiling. Unless because everything went. He stayed healthy. Clint called great games. Everything just went perfect for him. But then there was some games that he was not shut down. So if he's getting 8 to 12 targets a game and he can make the most of them, still 13 to 1,400 yards is very doable, and that anybody's taking that as a receiver.
100%. 100%.
That's averaging somewhere around 75 to 80 yards a game.
Yep. Yeah, literally.
So,
yeah, so that brings me into my last one. I probably would have mentioned Stafford, but I don't want anything to do ever with out of country games. First of all, and then second, is he going to have his wide receiver one? No idea. So I'm not going the Stafford route. I am going to go. You went with a Herbert route, so I'm going to go somewhere around that. I'm going to go somewhere with that same exact tier because Darnold, I feel like, is the same tier as Malik. So both of us took a lower level quarterback and like around that 10th overall quarterback. I'm going to be taking Dak. I don't know if you guys remember week 2 of last year with Russell Wilson and Dak Prescott, but that game ended like with 80 points, like 45 maybe to 30
or something.
Yeah,
45, 43, something like that. Yeah,
it was crazy high. But Dak had about 400 yards. Russ had 450. They threw for about 6 touchdowns total. I really think that offense in Dallas is going to be lights out this year as long as everybody can stay healthy. And I think we could see week 1, Dak Prescott will be the quarterback one. Josh Allen plays the Bills. Josh Allen plays the Texans. Yeah. So I don't think he goes quarterback 1 that week. But Dak Prescott, my goodness, I think he is going to just go lights out. I think CeeDee's going to get involved for over 100. Pickens over 100. I think Jake Ferguson could have about 60. And I think Javonte could have about 30. Just like that, you're already at 350. So, no, you're not. No, you're not. So, you're about 310 with what I just said. So, I do think that I think CeeDee's going to have about 150 probably. And if I had, that's probably what my main goal is going to be, is try to get someone in that Dallas offense before the season starts. Now that I'm mentioning it, I know everybody's going to charge me even more because of where my mindset is. But I just think that Dallas offense is going to be phenomenal. And they play in New York, which obviously I'm picking 2 away quarterbacks, but these quarterbacks have something to prove. And if you drop to New York week 1 if you're the Cowboys, that's bad. So I don't see it
They've got
happening.
high expectations this year,
Absolutely.
and they should because I picked them to win the division.
Yes, absolutely. And so this isn't one game that they can drop. So yeah,
No,
that's my quarterback, who I think could potentially finish quarterback one.
for the week
Yep. Well, uh,
or the season.
I was talking the week, but season potentially, but I hope not because we made a bet about Trevor Lawrence finishing top six.
And I
Or
and see Trevor Lawrence was one of my top three for the week. But I'm not going to get into that because we said two, and we don't want to get this too long again.
yeah,
I really Rob taking Dak, I think, was a great pick because I think he picked him kind of earlier than some of the quarterbacks were going to go. And he's got Dak and he's got Sam Darnold for week one. So he's got the potential for strong quarterbacks in week one.
glad I don't play him, huh?
Yeah.
Perfect. But yeah,
So
those are mine.
running backs. I went first with the quarterbacks. I'll let you go first with the running backs.
Perfect. With the running backs, I am honestly. Do you want me to? Do you want me to? Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I think this running back can finish top 5 of the week. I'm gonna go with DeAndre Swift. I am so high on DeAndre Swift this year, like higher than consensus. Is that one of yours?
He was my third one, so now I'm locked into the other
Okay,
two.
good. So DeAndre Swift is I think who can finish top 5 of this week and be a surprise. Kyle Monangai, I don't think he's back yet. And Rashawn Johnson, I'm not worried about him. We already mentioned that last week, so I'm not going to go too in depth. But DeAndre Swift plays against that Carolina defense, which actually is, don't get me wrong, Carolina defense is very good, but their offense is not great. And so I think that the Bears are going to take it, probably be up 17-7 maybe at halftime. And that just means they want to control the clock in the second half. Ben Johnson's going to have a scheme to just work Swift. And Roshan Johnson, he's never going to catch passes. So that's all Swift's PPR points. And I think that Swift can finish with 2 touchdowns and over 125 total yards on the week, which I think week 1 would probably put him top 5.
Yeah, and he's already said, he meaning Ben Johnson has already said he wants to break, and we briefly spoke on this last week. He wants to break the Broncos all-time offensive scoring for the season.
The Bears?
Yeah. He said Ben Johnson said he wants to do that this year, wants to break the Broncos scoring record.
Damn.
So, yeah, and we discussed it also, Caleb, if he can just get to that 65%, he's at 58. So if you get to 65, he wants him to get to 70. But if you can get to that 63 to 67%, that's a huge improvement. But if he really gets him up to that 70%, I mean, that sky's the limit for that offense.
Absolutely.
So my first one is going to be, and I don't know which one it's going to be, but whoever is named the starter, and I really think it's going to be Jaylen Warren to start the season. I've read some 50-50 or 1A, 1B type things with Rico, but I really think Jaylen Warren against Atlanta's defense. They're out both of their DNs to start the season, one all season, the other one to start the season. He's missing, I think, 6 to 8 games. And their defense is not that great anyways. So if you can get, kind of ties into what you were saying about Swift, if the Steelers defense can control that game, they're going to want to run it. Aaron Rodgers with his dump offs. And that's where it may hurt Jaylen Warren because Rico Dowdle could get some plays. But I think Jaylen Warren's going to get the first opportunity, and it's week 1. And the Steelers defense, I think they are just going to pound the ball. And I believe that because their receivers or whatever. DK, I anticipate him having a bounce back. He couldn't have just fallen off the face of the earth as a receiver. And then you've got Pittman, who is going to be a possession guy, but the run game at that second half, like you'd mentioned with Chicago, I honestly believe Pittsburgh is just going to try to pound the ball, control it, and I believe that Jaylen Warren will be a top 7 running back.
I'm on the opposite side of you.
I
think it's
agree
Rico.
With that running back?
I think
it'll be Rico?
I think it's Rico. I think Rico takes over his backfield.
I put Steelers running back.
Yeah. No, and so, I'm not saying like I don't hate the shout because I like the shout. I really do. I honestly, Aaron Rodgers was going to be one of my. I can never take him because he has no rushing upside, so I don't ever think he's going to finish top 5 of a week. But he is a quarterback that I think could finish top half of the league, like top 16, and he's not getting drafted there, which is why I felt like it would have been value to mention.
Correct.
But I think it's going to be Rico just because I feel like Rico fits that team a little bit more in terms of the rushing upside, and that but Mike Tomlin's gone, so it's the first time we're ever going to see that team without Mike Tomlin, and first time I'm ever really going to see that team without Mike Tomlin.
Correct. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
And I picked Jaylen due to the fact, they went out and signed Rico.
Yeah.
And Rico has the connection with McCarthy from Dallas.
Yeah.
So it could go that way. I just think Jaylen Warren has the connection with Rodgers. And week 1, I think he's going to get the first shot, and that's why I'm picking Jaylen Warren for the week.
Yeah, no, that makes sense, and I do feel like they're going to give Jaylen Warren the first couple drives, but I think once Rico comes in and gets settled down, I just feel like Rico's the more explosive back, yeah. Which is weird to say because Jaylen Warren just destroyed us last year.
Yeah.
The only player to do so. But yes, I totally agreed. And you're gonna laugh at my next. Is that it for you for Jaylen Warren? Okay, you're gonna laugh at my next one because I'm totally contradicting what I just mentioned right before my last pick. But my second running back, Kyren Williams, and I know they're in Australia, and I know I said I wasn't gonna do that, but that Niners team and the Rams team, they're always going back and forth, always. And I think it's going to be low scoring, but I also feel as if it's going to be Kyren getting into the end zone. I'm not worried about Blake Corum taking rushing touchdowns away. Am I worried about him taking a couple carries away? Like, is he going to average 12 carries a game? I think it's going to be more so just south of 10 carries a game. But I do feel as if once it gets to the red zone, it's going to be strictly Kyren, and I am high on Kyren. I know the league watching this is probably going to say, well, why was he your pick that got overdrafted then? But I only think that he was overdrafted because he was taken before Barkley, before Achane, before Hampton. And I just feel as if those running backs could outscore him throughout the season. But for week 1 specifically, I think Kyren could finish top 10 as long as he gets into that end zone and has about 80 yards minimum rushing and about two catches for about 20 yards.
Now, if Puka doesn't play, he could have more receptions.
Agreed.
And so, but then it also changes. That gives them more of a reason to control the clock. I think it was reported they're going to arrive a day or two before the game. The Niners are going in a week before the game.
I think the night before the game, yeah.
Yeah, it's to control the clock is going to be a key focus and a key aspect of Sean McVay's play calling in that game, or game planning in that game.
Agreed.
My second guy, and there's talk that the RB1 on the team, well, he's still not practicing, and it seems like the the conversation is, okay, he's on the mend. Well, now we are, what was that? Be Sunday will be 2 weeks out from game one. And I think either running back that does it, but if Genty does not return for week one, or if he's on a snap count for week one, Mike Washington. Yep. He's averaging like 7 yards or over 7 yards a carry in the preseason. He has shown that he's not one-dimensional. He's very fast. What do you have, a 4.38? We've already talked about how the defense for Miami is bad. Kirk Cousins is, he's going to try to hold on to that position as long as they can. Clint Kubiak is a run game genius. So let's see what he can do with Mike Washington behind that line. And the Miami, I couldn't tell you if Miami's number one defense is any better than their number 3 defense. But I believe since that game, Mike Washington is a guy that you could get for cheap on DraftKings or something, one of those games. He might be a little more expensive if it's reported real early, because I don't know if the prices are out yet for week one. I think they come out like a week early. But Mike Washington, I anticipate him having over 100 yards week one rushing as a rookie, and he could be the offensive rookie player of the week. And he will definitely be on the, the ground and pound player of the week.
Yeah, agreed. I like that shout. I totally agree. If Genty's out, that's 100% a smash play. And did you see the reports that came out today? Clint is he doubled down on a comment that he made at the beginning of the offseason. And he said,
RB room?
Yeah, he said this will be a 1-2 punch, even if Genty's like healthy. But he's like, Mike Washington's just proven himself, and we saw it last year. Sharp and K9, it was a 1-2 punch, and it was very, very 50-50, very 50-50. So if I was a Genty owner, I'd be a little concerned.
Correct. He's, and then Genty. You spent a 4th overall pick or 5th overall pick, whatever it was, on him, and you do not want it to be a long-term thing. And knowing that Washington, because he's already said the RB room looks a lot better than he anticipated earlier in the offseason, and then you said the 1-2 punch that he mentioned. So, yeah, and knowing how Clint spoke last year, he was pretty honest and pretty straightforward with his remarks. It may change as a head coach versus an offensive coordinator, but just the things I'm reading, things I'm seeing, and watching him play, Mike Washington has earned himself a role.
Agreed. Absolutely agreed.
So, receivers. Where did I didn't.
There are so many.
Yeah. So, let's go back. So the receivers, I believe, I don't know who the cornerback is opposite of Mike Jackson in Carolina. Okay. But the Bears in Carolina, you already said. Okay, who is it?
He's even better than Mike Jackson, but can't stay healthy.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Jimmy.
From North Carolina. Yeah. Jimmy Horn. Or not Jimmy Horn, but
Joe
Jimmy.
Horn.
Is it Jimmy Horn? Joe. It's Horn, though, his last name, right?
Yeah. But I think Jimmy Horn's their receiver, and I think Joe Horn Jr. is their corner.
And so I believe it's going to be either Rome or Burden will be a top 10 wide receiver for that week. It's funny because we're hyping up the receptions of Swift. I'm saying it'll be either Rome or Burden, depends on if Burden comes back, and Rome's had a great camp. Even though the foot thing or the toe thing was a conversation early on, and neither one of us even spoke about Caleb and his stretching for the uniforms and being a top 5 or 10 quarterback. But I believe Rome Odunze or Luther Burden will be a top 10 receiver against the Panthers in that week 1 matchup.
Agreed. Yeah. Uh, Completely agreed. The only reason I didn't mention Caleb is just due to the fact that I think your Justin Herbert shout and my Dak shout, I could see those three actually ending up top 3 of the week. I really could. But then Malik and Sam Darnold were more fun than talking about someone that gets drafted highly, in my opinion.
Exactly. That's why I went with Sam also. And I was kind of glad you went with Malik because then I was like, okay, we're both doing that. And you mentioned that we both kind of took someone later in the draft at 15th to the 20th, 25 spot. And yeah, it was nice to get some conversation on those guys.
Absolutely. But no, I love that shout. Someone's going crazy in that Bears offense. I don't know. We don't know for sure who, but someone's going crazy.
Yeah, someone is.
But yes, so that brings me into my first one, which is funny. You just made that comment about how nobody mentioned Caleb Williams. My first one is actually Ladd McConkey. I think Ladd, I want to see him in that Tyreek Hill role. I think QJ may be the Tyreek Hill role of 2024. And then I think that Ladd may be in that Jalen Waddle role. But I want to see that offense with Mike McDaniels. And I believe that Ladd could potentially just have a blow up game. I think he's going to be super good. I think his route running in the slot is going to be what gets him more targets than QJ. And last year they had Keenan Allen, who's no longer there. And I believe Keenan had just south of 100 targets. That leaves so many more opportunities open for QJ and Ladd. Yes, Trey Harris is there, and I think Trey Harris takes a step up, but I don't think Trey Harris gets south of 100 receiving targets just like Keenan did. So I think Ladd takes over that role, and like I said, him being in the slot, that Cardinals defense, they just don't really have anybody. They have one, which is who they drafted.
Johnson?
I think that's it, right? Out of Alabama, I think is where he went.
Michigan.
Michigan, yes. Will Johnson, yes, that's right. Will Johnson, but he plays outside, and so he's going to be on QJ, which I think will just give Ladd that more and more targets. Is what I'm just realistically trying to say. Now I'm just talking. So yeah, that's mine.
And Ladd, that game's going to be fun. Well, that offense is going to be fun to watch. I could see, and who was it that they played? Who did they play his rookie year in the playoffs?
Houston.
And he went, 13 for 140 or something like that? Yeah, 180. That's the type of game I could see him having that week.
Agreed. Sorry, everybody in the group chat saying that they found my doppelganger at Chili's. I'm like, bro, what? But yes.
So another receiver that I can see is, I think Geno, and got to send some love to Oscar. Geno with Garrett Wilson against the Titans. Wilson, I believe, can be a top 10 receiver. We went against the starting Titans defense last week. When I say we, the Seahawks, and they look lost. That defense does not look good. I can see Garrett Wilson going for a touchdown, probably 8 to 10 catches, and over 100 yards. When I say over 100, I don't know if it's 110, I don't know if it's 140, but I believe that Garrett Wilson is going to be a focal point, and I believe with Geno Smith coming back, Breece Hall, hopefully he comes back. If not, Braylon Allen is going to have to show that they need to stop the run. But they are going to have to do a focus on Breece Hall, getting that run game going, and getting the defenders to put a little bit more effort in that box. And the Titans defense, even though they're at home, their offense just looks bad.
Yes.
And I cannot see the Titans controlling any part of that game. And once it's going to be a thing of, I guess it's going to be a theme in week one. These teams that are coming out in halftime with a lead of a touchdown and a field goal or two touchdowns and trying to run the clock more. They may try to get a few long shots or a deep shots. But I believe Garrett Wilson and Geno Smith will connect for over 100 yards and at least a touchdown in week one.
I completely agree. I I don't think they have anyone else, and I think that's also going to help him. I know they drafted Omar Cooper. I know they drafted Kenyon Sadiq, but like you're mentioning, that defense, they don't look great. They don't look good, and which is weird because Robert Saleh is the coach, and I know that won't slide with him. So they're either gonna show out or they're gonna get their asses chewed out. So whatever happens happens. But I do agree that Garrett Wilson is gonna have a very very solid week of football.
And a lot of those players played for Robert Saleh too.
Yes.
So they're going to want to prove something. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Agreed. So I like those two picks. My next one, it's hard for me to pick between the two, and I've been thinking about it. It's hard for me to pick between the two, but I am going to go with a player that will help one of our league mates bets in the quarterback getting 4,540 this year. I will be going with, do I go Waddle or Sutton? I think I'm gonna go Waddle, just because he does play on that inside, and I think that Bo Nix and Waddle's connection is gonna be very good. But I'm also much higher on Sutton than I am, or I'm also higher on Sutton than a lot of people that I know and a lot of people that I read about. I just feel like Sutton as a wide receiver two at his age is going to be very, 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 very good. It's going to be a very, very good wide receiver two for Bo Nix, and it's hard for me to pick between the two. But I do think that Waddle against Kansas City on Monday Night Football in his first game for Denver will perform very, very well.
On the road too.
On the road. But they no longer have Trent McDuffie, so that's why I'm feeling like that could be a good pick.
What's the kid's name from starts with an M, I believe, from LSU that they drafted?
I was trying to think of him too, but I could not remember his name.
Yeah, he's looked good in camp. So we'll see, but
does he play inside or outside? I think he plays outside though, right?
I don't remember. But he's been covering Cyrus Allen. He's been covering Rice. They've showed him covering Kelsey. So and I don't know if the Chiefs and Spags, their defensive coordinator, is going to move him around. But it's going to be a test either way. Cortland with his experience or Waddle with his speed. It's gonna be a fun matchup.
Yeah, agreed. I am so ready for week one. But opening night, you get a Super Bowl rematch, and then to close it off, you get the AFC West showdown of Denver and KC. It's going to be fun. It is going to be fun. It is.
Well, on Sunday night, you get Dallas and the Giants.
Yep. And then you get Niners and Rams on Thursday. They got a lot of NFL finally cooked. They finally did well.
They did. Okay.
That brings us to our tight ends. The last, well, I guess not last, but close to the last one. The last skill position.
Correct. I have a feeling we're both going to agree on one of them, but you go first this time.
You want me to go first?
Yeah, because I went first with the wide receivers.
Yep, my first one is going to be Jake Ferguson. I want that Dallas offense. I'm going to keep it short. Want the Dallas offense, and I feel like Jake Ferguson will play a part in it, and I think he will be in the end zone. And to have a tight end get in the end zone, I feel like that's already a win. So I want a tight end that I think is going to get in the end zone, and I'm going to go with Jake Ferguson.
Okay, then I'll see if the one I thought we would agree on falls to me to two. I'm going to go Isaiah Likely
Damn,
in that
that
same
was
game.
my two. That was my second.
And the reason I want to go with Isaiah is he's got the familiarity with Harbaugh. The Sunday night matchup likely has been huge on prime time when when the Ravens and the Chiefs would play, or to open up seasons, or just he would have big games. He's very athletic. They don't really have a wide receiver too. It was announced earlier that Malachi is going to be the wide receiver too. Let's see how much they just release and let Neighbors play in week one. See if they can just get some, some movement and some yardage underneath his feet and his knee. See what they trust. So Isaiah Likely, I really feel, is going to have a 75-plus yard game. He's probably going to see a lot of Caleb Downs due to the fact that Caleb is playing in the middle. The defensive line, though, it's always a tight end is a young quarterback's best friend.
Yes.
The defensive line of Dallas, I really think, with Von Miller coming in, the D tackles that they have, and then let's see how they can play. It's going to be an early game for Caleb, and I like Isaiah Likely for a touchdown and 75-plus yards, and being definitely a top 10, but probably top 7 to 8 tight end on the week.
Yep. I mean, like I said, that would have been my second tight end. I want pieces in that game.
Yes.
Like I think it's
This
gonna
will
be
be
no
fun to
shootout.
watch.
Agreed.
Yeah.
So yes, there are so many other tight ends, which is kind of crazy because I don't feel like I ever like tight ends. But there are so many other tight ends that I do like. And I'll throw a couple out there after you take your second one. So the second one I'm gonna go with is going to be Travis Kelce. Last year Travis Kelce against Denver was the only one that could do anything. Cortland Sutton, or not Cortland Sutton, sorry. Rashee Rice, he got locked down by PS2, and I don't know who their cornerback two is anymore, but I don't even know who the wide receiver two is on the Chiefs. I'm gonna assume it's Cyrus Allen just because I hate Xavier Worthy and he's just not good. But Tyquan Thornton came back too. Yeah, so he came back too, and he's a deep threat. But it's just the middle of the field that Denver. I feel like that's their only weakness. And it's not even a weakness. It's just the tight ends are the soft spots. Like you said, quarterback's best friend. Mahomes is coming back from a knee injury. First came back. What better than to go to Old Reliable and Travis Kelce? Travis Kelce played today. I think he only played one drive. Had a reception. Mahomes didn't play, but he did have a reception. So I know that he's still able to get in those positions where he can help his quarterback out. And I think Travis Kelce will be a good, solid tight end.
Okay. Agree with that. And it's obviously, we don't know if this is Kelce. Actually, he wasn't extended, was he?
I believe he was. Yeah, he was.
Okay. Okay. So I was going to say it might be his farewell tour, but now that I say that, and that's why I asked if he was extended, because I think it came on that he was. I'm going to go with my someone that I thought either one of us could have taken, and I'm surprised he was able to be taken as my second one. And it's just I have to say it because we've mentioned it with every other position.
Yeah.
Colston Loveland.
Yes.
And he's probably going to be the wide receiver one in this game against the Panthers. Just Loveland and the whole camp talk has been huge. I traded him away in our Dynasty League. He went as an early tight end pick in our family league, but him and Caleb are going to connect, and I believe that he will have over 80 yards receiving. He'll have a touchdown, and it's going to that offense against the Panthers. Panthers defense, you've already said it, is actually not bad, but I think Ben Johnson is going to want to put his foot on the gas week one and just score some points. And Bears, we've talked enough about the Bears offense, but Loveland is just going to go off, and he will probably be the wide receiver one. And if that means he is the wide receiver one on that team, even though he's the tight end, I guess he'll be the receiving leader. I should word it that way, and have over 100 yards receiving.
Agreed. Totally agreed. The only reason I didn't is just because he wasn't like he's always going to be top, but I think he is going to be tight end one of the week. I totally agree.
Yeah. And you had said that you wanted to name some other tight ends.
Yeah.
There's a few that I could name for this week. But go ahead and name your let's see if you name one of them from the early slate of Sunday's game as one of your sleeper tight ends or one of your exciting tight ends on the week.
It's going to sound weird, really weird, because I've never mentioned him before, ever. But Pat Freiermuth. I think he could be a sleeper tight end this year. But yeah, I mean, just keep that short and simple. But I think Pat Freiermuth and Cade Otton would be the two that, especially if Egbuka's hurt, those would be the two that would be my surprise sleepers of the week.
And I'll throw in Juwan Johnson.
Yeah.
Especially if Jordan Tyson. I don't think he's returned yet, has he?
No, Jordan Tyson won't be
2 months. So correct. Yeah. And they said he might be a little ahead of the schedule, so it might be more like 6 weeks instead of 8 weeks out of the season. But I think Juwan Johnson is a great I'll just say top 10. Yeah. Don't need to try to say 7, 6, 7, 8. But the top 10 tight end on the week. And it's Bengals could be a sneaky, or Drake Mays tight end could be a sneaky start on that week. I know 2 different games, but there's a few early season tight ends that I think you're going to see some catching some waiver wire love early on in the season.
Agreed. All right. Well, last but not least, that brings us into a defense. And if you'd like to take it away, you definitely can. Are we going 1 or 2 defenses? Which one do you want to do?
We could just do one and then just kind of name a couple others. We don't really need to talk much about it. But I'll go with the Jags defense. I dropped them. Did not want to, but it just seems like you get some news on some receivers or some tight ends or running backs, and easiest person to drop is a tight end or a defense. And I was hoping no one was going to pick him up. I don't know why I thought that, because it seems like as soon as I did it, you did. But the Jags defense versus the Browns, and I don't care if it's Sanders, I don't care if it's Watson, I don't care if it's Green. Their defense, that game is just going to be ugly for the Browns. And the Jags defense that week has the potential to be a top 5, probably top 3 defense on the week. And I was really you picked them up, but it is what it is. I dropped the Chargers thinking I'd get them back. Sean picked them up. I dropped the Jags. You picked them up. So it's both of those defenses. Which one for you?
Mine would actually be the Steelers.
That was my third one.
Yeah, so mine would be the Steelers. Their over/under is 42.5 for the game, and I always when I stream defenses, because that's what I do. I stream defenses, and I just go based off Vegas odds, just because if you have an implied team total of, let's just say, 16, that is not high. That is not high at all.
No.
And I don't want to be taking a defense against someone that has an implied team total of 22 plus. Even 21's a lot, but my threshold, because I'm not going to be able to just pick whatever defense I want throughout the week. So I have to put the threshold a little bit higher and lower my standards. But I go based off Vegas odds a lot, just because they know, like they just know. They know. So they're going to set that line close, and which is crazy. Dolphins and Raiders over/under is 40.5, but I don't want either of those defenses, just because I feel like since they're both so bad, it could turn into a shootout. The Dolphins, like the Browns, are actually favored favored to score the least amount of points in week 1 at 16.5, and I think it's the Jets that are number 2. But one of those two teams, I know for sure the Browns are favored to score the least. But I just I think that the Steelers have such an average team, and Tua just does not look good. If Pitts doesn't go off, Tua's gonna be ass. So that's why I'd go with the Steelers week 1.
Well, and then the Steelers. The only thing you have to worry about is Bijan. Like I said, Steelers were my 3rd pick, and if you can shut down Bijan,
Yeah,
and the quarterbacks, whoever it is, if Tua beats out Penix, that means Penix is probably not ready to play. They're not trusting the knee.
correct.
If Penix beats out Tua and he's just coming back, what does that really say about Tua? I read somewhere that Tua may not even make the team. So there's that. I like how you mentioned the points, whether it be 16, 21, or whatever. But when you're playing fantasy football, and we could care less what the defense does, it's just, okay, we know the cutoffs, 0 points, and then up to 6, because at 7 points you lose points, 14 points, 21 points. So if you can keep it below 20 or lower, you're already getting your locked-in points for the defense. You're going to get a couple sacks, probably going to get some forced fumbles or potential stops. It depends on what your scoring is.
Well, the Jets didn't have a single
3 and out.
interception.
What was that?
I said, well, the Jets didn't have a single interception last year. Sorry, Oscar. But so they
Correct.
proved that we
Correct.
can't always hope for that. Or we can hope for it, but we can't always expect it.
Exactly. Get it, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but with the so if you get in our scoring, it's 3 and outs. We've got 4th down stops. We have those type of things, and so if you get those, that brings you some bonus points. That brings you some scoring, and we're really basically talking about our league and what we think.
Correct.
So yes, I like how you brought in the scoring and what Vegas is predicting.
Yeah. So that'd be mine.
Ravens versus Colts. I don't know how the Colts are going to start off. That's why I picked them up. You've got the Vikings versus Green Bay. The receivers are who knows. I've read a lot of good stuff on Marquise Golden. What's his first name?
You're talking about from Green Bay?
Yeah,
Matthew Golden.
Matthew Golden. I knew it was an M. He didn't show me much last year. So you've got all these potentials for the first week. And like we talked about, defenses are going to start off a little bit more stronger than the offenses are. The offenses are kind of slow until about week 3 or 4, and you kind of find out what you get, and you start seeing trends, and that's what you need to start looking at.
Yep. Totally agreed. But yeah, so that's my stuff. Those are my guys.
Yep, and it's we'll be setting lineups in Seattle.
Yep. How's that game looking? Are we winning?
9-9 is the, what is it? Just over 5.5 minutes left.
Is it still Milroe?
9-9, yeah. Yeah, Milroe was told he was playing the whole game.
Dang, he's 15 of 25, 193 and a touchdown. Only 20 yards rushing? Damn.
And that's what Mike's irritated with. Like, dude, you're an athlete. Use your legs. But he wants to prove he can stay in the pocket and throw.
Dang. Brashard Smith looks good.
How many yards does he have?
16 carries for 72 yards. Just over 4.
I can't wait to see our starters because our 3rd and 4th.
Oh my God, we suck.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think that concludes it. You have anything else?
No. That was a good one.
That was.
Fun.
We'll have one more episode before the season starts. Again, if anybody wants to join, feel free to send us a text. But we're not going to put it out there, and we got to make sure that you guys are watching. We're an hour and 9 minutes into it. If you guys don't stay for an hour and 9 minutes, that's your fault.
Yeah, and dilly, yeehaw.